And Woody likes the crooked cock.
Some days it's like, no, every link in your life is shattered. Like your family, even immediate family, might disown
Mormons.
you. Well, Mormons will do that more than like Christians, but it's rare for like if you get out of Mormonism that they'll just totally excise you, unless they're like hardcore Mormon. They'll excommunicate you, but that just means that your family can still associate with you. They're not like supposed to let you be like a bad influence on them. A lot of cults operate that way. I was listening to a Joe Rogan podcast with Leah Remini, who was the lady from King of Queens, if any of you have seen that show.
Yeah.
And she was born and raised in the Church of Scientology. And so she was talking about how, your whole life revolves around it. If you leave, like your family won't talk to you anymore. They won't associate with you. They'll, disown you. Like you don't just lose that aspect of your faith out of your life where you have to fill that hole, your God hole, as Dennis calls it. You have to fill your social needs whole and your, financial needs whole. If you had a job that was like with other Mormons or other Scientologists or Muslims or whatever, it's really shitty. I'm glad it's not like that here.
Yeah. Anyway,
would you associate with
Jews? They'll do that as well.
Would you associate with a Scientologist, Taylor? Like if you met a girl and otherwise she was, all good, you liked her, but she was a Scientologist, could you date her?
No.
What if she gave great blowjobs?
No, there's a lot of girls out there that can suck dick.
Yeah.
Like I definitely like, because it would, even if she was like, oh, I'm totally cool with this, whatever, that's only a temporary thing. Because if she is, steadfast in wanting to remain a Scientologist, she would have to either convert me or hide me as like a secret boyfriend or something, because they would not allow that in the church.
What if she was massively racist? Could you deal with that? But not to like all the races. Like what if she just hated Jews? But whenever they came, like she was full blown though. She was a Holocaust denier.
What if it wasn't Jews? What if it was like Jamaicans? Just a little subset of people.
Only Jamaicans.
She just hates Jamaicans so much. She sees that yellow, green, and red or whatever the fuck. It goes crazy.
Every time she hears steel drums.
those steel bongos that... Yeah.
Could you date a Jamaican hater?
A Jamaican-hating Scientologist. I don't think that sweetened the deal for me at all. Yeah, I don't. Would you? Could either of you date a Scientologist? Yeah. Think about it.
No, not a Scientologist. No. So I could date her, but almost for the curiosity factor. I would love to like get on the inside of that thing. Like I'll tell you what, in Atlanta here we have a Hindu temple. And when you drive past it, I'm not exaggerating. Let me find you some pictures of this thing. It is beautiful. Like, I have no interest in becoming a Hindi or whatever, but God, this thing makes me want to. Like, look at these images at how spectacular this thing is. So I have a similar, like, fascination with Scientology because it's such a closed, weird thing. Like. I think I would like to get on the inside, especially if they didn't see. Here are the negatives to Scientology as I see them. Right? They milk you of money. Like it's not like you can just go to Bible class and learn. Like these levels cost money, right? You end up spending hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars to get to a higher tier level, millions of dollars if you're capable of it. And I think they charge you more based on what they think they can get out of you. Like if you've got $50,000 to your name, guess what the next level costs? $49,999 for a limited time. So I wouldn't want to be a part of anything like that costs a lot of money or any money whatsoever, really. But if you could just get in there and see what was what, I find it fascinating. So I think I could date a girl who was a Scientologist in that regard, but like I wouldn't want to be held to any standards or anything. I wouldn't want it to affect me.
If you haven't listened to that Joe Rogan with Leah Remini about Scientology, you should. It's really interesting to get like the insider perspective on it. She was talking in it about how like Tom Cruise is not just another high-ranking guy or whatever level he was on. Mm-hmm. She was saying like you do not question Tom. Like What Tom says goes. Like when Tom was on set doing his movies, and like, you know, the other actors are like, hey, can you bring me a water? And some, I don't know what they're called there, you know,
PA.
Some PA or something will run off who works for the studio or whatever, get him some water. Tom Cruise apparently is totally inculcated in like a bubble of Scientology assistants. So when he is like, hey, bring me a cucumber sandwich or whatever, one of them will run off and get it. Like he's not even talking to non-Scientologists in those environments. Like they have like almost a shell around him. Sorry, go ahead.
So what made that part interesting to me was that Tom wasn't as crazy as I thought, right? You hear it and you're like, oh, he believes in aliens and this, and Xanadu is going to come down and he's uniquely qualified to save it. No, this motherfucker's getting his yard cut. He's getting water delivered to him. Everyone else is pouring money into this thing, and he, on the other hand, is the recipient of all these services and stuff. He's not going broke from Scientology. Scientology wants Tom. He's the guy who's getting his dick sucked by
Scientology is blackmailing Tom. Scientology has him as their figurehead, right? Like Scientology, that motherfucker paid in, just like Travolta paid in.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean,
oh yeah,
so
they've got shit on him for sure, probably.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
They do on everyone.
And it seems like Tom and maybe Travolta too are the people at the top of the multi-level marketing thing here, and they get the shit. They get babied. They get treated right.
No,
they get babied in a way because
after all of that auditing that especially John Travolta did. They've been blackmailing him to be part of that thing for a decade or more. Like that's just how it works. Those people don't want to be there. Like, you don't think they can get a cucumber sandwich as Tom Cruise? Like,
that's so
John Travolta
racist.
owns a
How could
John
you say
Travolta.
that?
John Travolta owns a fleet of planes. You know, he's got a 747 literally in his backyard. He's got a runway. In his
has a runway. Yeah.
Yeah. That motherfucker doesn't need Scientology. Scientology needs him, and they keep him there.
How do you know he bought that runway? Maybe Scientology put the runway in for him.
Oh, who knows if they helped or not? I don't know.
I don't have his tax documents, but he's had that runway for like 25 or 30 years or something like that.
There's a reason that many of these niche, you know, religious organizations have different words for what they call, you know, auditing in Scientology, where it's like you sit down with someone, everything is recorded, you hold on to whatever device or do whatever, you know, meditation you're supposed to do prior, and then you just spill your guts about everything to them. And if they assume you're lying or they think you're not being truthful, they can like write you up and dock you and give you some form of punishment. And so they basically just gather tons and tons of info on you, getting you to spill your guts. And then, you know, 12 years later or whatever, if Tom Cruise or whoever is like, I don't want to be in the church anymore, I've paid enough, I'm leaving, they'll be like, oh, well, you know, that would be a shame if, you know, someone learned about XYZ.
I hear you. I don't know. The way that I've watched a couple Scientology documentaries, and I saw, of course, the podcast with her on it, Leia, whatever. My understanding is there are a few people who are winning at this Scientology thing. A couple leaders in it, and Tom Cruise is one of those few.
I don't think so at all. According to Going Clear, they're being blackmailed. You know, the whole HBO documentary. That's one.
I think it's more like you're definitely right that they're no slouch in that ranking system. I don't know. I think it goes to 9 levels. Like, they're really high up, but I feel like the group that's really benefiting is the ones even higher than them. Like the, I don't know, board administrators. I don't even know how you would refer to them. The heads of the church. Like, they're the ones I feel like making the decisions. And no matter how high you get, like, you're not making the calls like that. Like, I don't know. It's so fucking convoluted and confusing.
In any of these, like, power structures, and you have to reward the people who hold the keys to your power. If the guy in the very, very top is the only person who likes the situation, that doesn't last. You know, they get rid of the top guy. It does if he's
blackmailing you. The documentary claimed that Scientology chiefs hold a black PR package on Travolta with all of the disclosures he made during auditing sessions. During these sessions, a trained auditor asked pointed questions such as, what are you willing for me to talk about to others? Travolta is said to have requested that these sessions were not filmed, but secret cameras were allegedly installed anyway, as well as the claims about Travolta. Former senior members of the faith told documentary makers about the various forms of punishment meted out by leaders. I think they're blackmailing these folks, man. I think that's the deal. I think that you get these stars to be your figureheads to bring in the peons, which are then put literally in slave camps, and like they pay to work for you, you know, and then in turn they're blackmailed. And then there's a lot of people who've gone missing, right? You know, like a lot of people who have died, and there was that lady who was like boiled in a bathtub in their hotel.
Wait, what?
Like, yeah.
I did not hear about this. How do you boil water in a bathtub? Do you have to bring it up boiling and then like quickly torture the person? Because it'll cool off.
Let me get it.
Then you just have a tub of lukewarm water. Man, I feel very lucky that I was not brought up in one of these fringe religions.